Happy birthday, Kokoa, at least in my time zone. Here's a video about you. I was having a conversation with the one person in my life who I can talk to about Gochiusa, and we came upon the topic of main characters. Of course, there's the main 5, then we have the 3 at Rabbit House, and finally we have the 2 who live there. But between Kokoa and Chino, I think it's Kokoa. Not only is she one of the most underrated characters in Gochiusa, but I think that she is the main character. Obviously, my favorite is the Red Bean, a hill I am willing to die on, but another hill whose vicinity has a high possible mortality rate for me is Kokoa. As for how she influences characters, I could go more into detail about that in another video if this one does well, but it boils down to this. I think your favorite character would not be your favorite character without Kokoa. Chino goes from a generic shy character to one of the greatest with the depth that she gains from interacting with Kokoa. Kokoa gets Rize to open up, adding Gap Moe to an already cool character, and Maya becomes an actual character after interacting with Kokoa. And I'm not saying every character's most important relationship is with Kokoa, it's just that Kokoa takes what would be a one-note character and allows us to explore the depths behind that first defining trait. These characters are not boring without her, but she is what allows us to see why they're not. This to me is why I think if I had to pick one character to be the main character, it would be Kokoa. And with that out of the way, let's start talking about why I love her so much. First of all, she is voiced by one of the best, and yes, I am biased. What are you gonna do about it? In fact, Gochiusa has some of the best voice acting I've ever come across. Even reading the manga in English, I can hear their voices, and that's so much better than the other voices in my head. As for character design, I'm usually in favor of long hair over short, but Kokoa is one of the few short hair designs that I love. That hairpin matching with Mocha still makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. And pink as her color was absolutely brilliant in my opinion. Purple can have implications of royalty, alluding to Rize's wealth. Blue can be interpreted as somber, like Chino dealing with loss, and green represents envy, which Chia is very prone to. But pink? Well, it's pink, it's bright and fluffy, and it doesn't need any special deep meanings, just like Kokoa. She's simple in the best way possible. She has a goal of making others happy, and will take whatever steps are necessary to achieve that. Everything she does is out of a genuine sense of care. She's the ideal friend. She often ignores what some people would consider to be obvious signs, but it's not like she doesn't notice them. She just doesn't think that it should stop her from trying to make them happy. This is further highlighted in the rare instances where it's explicitly shown that Kokoa is doing something under the guise of being an idiot but is actually playing 5D chess. As the person most in tune with their emotions in the series, she's also able to be most in tune with the emotions of others as well, and this extra sensibility goes a long way in making her one of my favorite characters. But in addition to being a pillar of positivity, Kokoa is an actual character. This is more thanks to Koi being a good author, but everything she does makes sense. And just like she helps the development of so many other characters, Kokoa herself develops as well, though she's very good at hiding it. At the beginning of the series, it could be argued that she's just a dum-dum with an affinity for cuddling, but it's clear that as the series goes on, she adjusts very well to others. This massive gap between her emotional intelligence and apparent lack of common sense comes to a very interesting point when Rose is revealed, and it's hard to tell if Kokoa was playing along or not. Some people think of Kokoa as kind of an idiot and a little annoying, and to be fair, that is the first impression she gives off. But that's what makes the character underneath that impression so much more precious. She's also just so goddamn cute.